Welcome back to Access Anime. My name is Henshin Ikeda, and today I'll be doing a walkthrough and review of Codebreakers Episode 12. Now, if you remember from last episode, we get to see Toki vs Miyazami, and Rohi reappears versus Yokihina. Can't wait to see that fight, in my opinion. Moving on past that, we get to see Ogami vs Hitomi. Now, however, Hitomi has the upper hand right now, and Ogami is getting smashed. Now, while all this is actually going on, we also find out someone is still calling everyone, sending random texts about the bomb locations and Hitomi's GPS coordinates. And I still do not know who this person is. I mean, who's doing it? I mean, we see everyone fighting, so who is left out? We don't really know, that's all I can say. Moving on past that, we find out a little more information about Hitomi. I'm just putting that out there. The first time he tried to assassinate the Prime Minister, he really didn't. In fact, he just wanted to talk with the Prime Minister about what was going on, about freeing or at least letting go these little children with special abilities that were being experimented on, as well as these people, some of the codebreakers who were not getting lost but instead being taken over by their own power. That's all he wanted to know. He just tried to confront the Prime Minister, and instead Eden made him appear to be the villain and they went after him. So just putting that out there that Eden, what's your angle? We don't know. Now, toward the end of the episode, we find out the clock is still ticking for the Prime Minister, so we don't know if he's going to be executed or not, but we do find out there are 50,000 people at risk of dying because of all the bombs that are located throughout Japan. So will the Prime Minister be executed? Will 50,000 people die? We don't know. Definitely stay tuned for that. Again, that's where the episode ends. Now, I'll hold my final thoughts on my rating at the end of the clip, so stay tuned. But let's dive right in. Now, we open up this episode on top of the Sky Tower with Toki, and you're like, wait, wasn't Toki fighting Miyazami? It's like, no, it wasn't that much of an easy fight. Miyazami clearly was a clear-cut winner of that fight, but we don't really get to see the ending, so is Miyazami dead? Is he alive? We don't know. We really don't. At this point in time, we don't know if he's alive, dead. Maybe this is part of the bigger plan, the bigger picture, you know? Just putting that out there. But again, Toki is on top of the Sky Tower, and he sees the Prime Minister, and you're like, wait, there's no one watching the Prime Minister, and he's about to be, executed in 20 minutes? I mean, really? Does that make any sense? There's 20 minutes left, the Prime Minister is on top of Sky Tower by himself, not being watched, and Toki appears? That sum just doesn't add up. But to make it even better, we get to hear Toki make an interesting comment toward the Prime Minister. He wants to forsake him. You're like, this is a perfect time for a joke, right? It's like, Toki, are you serious? You're gonna forsake the Prime Minister? Go for it. I want to see this. Father and son moment. The father and son moment went down the toilet the first time he started talking to him on top of the tower. So I'm interested to see where this is going to head toward. But moving on to a different scene, we see Yokihina versus Rohi. Now, all we see is Yokihina basically dodging Rohi at this point in time, and you're wondering why. Obviously, Yokihina, you were, expecting something, like not right away from a fight, but I mean, come on, it's Rohi. Now, Rohi's alive, not dead. That kind of questions Miyazami. What really happened between them? I'm just putting that out there. We don't know. But again, Yokihina's just dodging Rohi and wasting our time. We want to see a fight, not some pussy running around and dodging someone. I mean, really? Come on, just fight Rohi. But anyways, we do see Yokihina just dodging each blow. It's kind of pissing me off. And it kind of feels like Full Metal Alchemist just a little bit. If you think about it, all these codebreakers work for the state. To a point. Think about it. I mean, alchemists, they worked for the state and they were the lapdogs of the state, so codebreakers, you're like alchemists. Plain and simple. See how I just connected that? Yeah? No? Okay, well I did, so there we go. Now moving on past that, I just have to put that out there. Yokihina is trying to convince Rohi in general to join Hitomi's side. I mean, really? You try to kill Rohi and now you want to pull Rohi into your own side? It's not gonna happen. Come on, Rohi is smarter than that. Now, moving on to a different scene, we are taken to Ogami versus Hitomi, and we see apparently Ogami, he pleads to Hitomi to stop the bomb. So Ogami is not really out for the count, but he's getting there, but he's still trying to convince Hitomi to stop. But apparently Hitomi points out the bombs already have been preset, so he can't stop them right now. It's done with. From here, he can't disconnect them. Or at least he doesn't want to. You're like, wait, what? But you have an electrical ability. Of course you can. Now you're just making frickin' excuses? Fine, let's be that way. Now we are taken to a different scene. more or less the realization that Hitomi is trying to actually describe to Ogami. Now, apparently, Hitomi tells Ogami that all of the killing that Eden's been ordering, so all of these deaths that Eden has been ordering, they basically end up serving to give the state and Eden the upper hand. It's like, okay, that does make sense. That's an interesting perspective from Hitomi's point of view. And it does make sense. Now we are taken to a different scene with Hitomi, and he's trying to pull Ogami to his side. So first you had Yukihina trying with a different character. Now you have Hitomi trying to pull Ogami to the dark side. And it looks like it's about to work, and then it doesn't, so it's a no-go. And Ogami, he basically knows Eden's evil, so it's like, wait, what? So Ogami knows that the organization he's working for is evil? Then why are you doing it? That doesn't make sense. An eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Who the hell cares? Keep saying that phrase over and over again. I love hearing it. But you're working for an organization you know is evil. How do you sleep at night? No, I sleep pretty well. That would probably be his answer. Now, of course, we find out there are 10 minutes left until the bomb explodes. Just putting that out there. And we do find out Ogami states to Hitomi, well, I should say, well, yeah, I guess Ogami does state to Hitomi that they're both evil for killing in general. I'm like, yeah, they do kill, so they're not really innocent of everything. I mean, but they're doing it for different reasons. You know, Ogami is doing it because it's for the state, it's for the greater good, or at least that's what he's being told, where now you have Hitomi, you're just blowing up buildings and killing random people. How thought out is that? How is that you're killing the people you once protected? What's behind that? Unless this is one huge illusion and no one's really dying, you're more of a villain than, you know, Ogami is. Just putting that out there. Now, it does appear that Ogami is about to get lost. You know, he's about to fall into that state where a codebreaker starts to get lost, and then basically Sakura jumps in and tries to save him. But be honest right now, I do not like Sakura. She reminds me of a certain character from Bleach. That's all I'm going to say. Right now, she definitely fits the bill for that. Sorry, I digress. Moving on to a different scene. Now, we do see Sakura's father, as well as all the mafia men around him, and they've located where the bomb signal actually originated from. So that's kind of interesting. You know, you see a van with a little tower on top of it, you know, doing all the signals to where all the bombs are at. So now they know where the connection is that controls all the bombs. It's in the middle of like a park, I guess like a park or close to the forest, and it's by itself, just a van. It doesn't appear like anyone's around. And then we find out there's 5 minutes left until the bomb goes off, and 2 kids jump out of the van. You're like, what? Wait a minute. So Hitomi's got 2 kids working for him, and now they're not codebreakers, but they have codebreaker abilities. So they were, I guess, 2 kids that were experimented on, and they work for Hitomi, and they attack Sakura's father as well as, you know, the mafia guys. Now, interestingly enough, Sakura's father is looking at these kids, and they remind him of Sakura when she was found at his gates. So it's kind of interesting. So he's got a little remorse for these kids, and he doesn't want to hurt them. But, you know, now's not the time to be nice. I mean, everyone's going to die, and, you know, well, 50,000 people are going to die if you don't do something, so get off your high horse and do something. And, of course, we're taking to a different scene with Hitomi, and he's choking Sakura. You know, basically Sakura nullified his power out, but guess what? He can still choke, you know, well, choke Sakura in general. Now, why don't you carry a gun with you when you're around Sakura? If you know she's going to cut your power off, wouldn't you take measures to make sure you have a blunt object or a gun on you so you can just finish the job? That's just me. It's called a backup plan within a backup plan. Yeah, I guess they don't think about that anymore. But sorry, I digress. Moving on to a different scene, we do see Toki, and we found out there's 1 minute left, and he has to save the Prime Minister. But he hasn't yet, and you're like, wait, wait a minute, why aren't you saving the Prime Minister? Well, we don't know. You've got seconds left now, and apparently when the Prime Minister is killed, along with, you know, 50,000 people, what the hell's going to happen next? I mean, think about it. Toki, what the hell are you doing? Just save the Prime Minister. Yeah, he's not doing it for some reason. That's all I can say. Now we are taken to a different scene with Ogami, and he's now crawling. So he's not really lost anymore, but you see him crawling on the floor toward Hitomi. Because remember, Hitomi's actually still choking Sakura. So that's interesting. Now eventually we find out time is up and the clock has run down, and it looks like Hitomi's about to do his like victory dance or something, or evil monologue yet again. And again, bombs didn't go off, they were stopped. And Miyazami appears out of nowhere. Are you freaking kidding me? Dude, what is this guy's business? Is he good? Is he evil? You know, I knew something was up with him. But really, is he a double agent? I think so. He is a double agent. Like, wow. Anyways, sorry, I digress. Moving on. We do find out Miyazami appears. And Yuki has been stopped. Like, wait, what? Yuki has been stopped? So we see Miyazami appear, and then Yuki stopped. That's all I can say. Short and simple. We're taking to a different scene with Rohi and the truth. This is all I can say. The truth. Here we go, Rohi. Now, Rohi is basically working under Miyazami. So it's like, wait, so Rohi is working under Miyazami's orders, and the death was all faked? I'm like, I called it. I knew it. I knew it was faked. So this was amazing. And apparently it was fake, so Rohi could actually save these kids that were actually in this building structure that she's with Yukihina. So this battle between Rohi and Yukihina is kind of a setup, because apparently Rohi actually saved Yukihina's targets, these kids that were in this building. So her death was faked for the greater good, for a different plan that Miyazami had. So stuff are starting to add up. Just putting that out there. Of course, we are taken to a different scene with Yuki versus Rohi. Remember when I said Yuki is stopped right above? Like, wait, what does that mean? Yuki was stopped. Yuki appears with Rohi, and now they're both fighting Yukihina. And then out of nowhere, I thought this was an amazing build-up, an amazing fight, but yeah, Yukihina vanishes. Like, what? Pussy. That's all I can say about that. Moving on to a different scene with Miyazami versus Hitomi. Now they're fighting, but they're not fighting. So it's like, wait, so Miyazami isn't really fighting Hitomi. It's more or less just talking, and maybe some light gestures that look like they're about to fight. And then we find out, yeah, the Sky Tower is his ace in his sleeve. So even if you stop all these bombs, guess what? Hitomi can use electricity, so he's going to use the tower to launch all the bombs out at once, to ignite them. I'm like, crap. So that makes sense. That's a great ace in your sleeve. Except, you know, Sakura's there to nullify your power, so if you don't kill her first, then your plan's not going to work. Just putting that out there. Of course, we're taking to a different scene with Toki, and he's not yet freed the Prime Minister. In fact, he's toying with him, you know, putting him over the edge, and, you know, eventually he doesn't kill the Prime Minister. He's just toying with them, and then we see the Prime Minister getting all cocky. He's like, "Yeah, I knew you weren't going to do that, because you know what? Now that I'm alive, I'm here. You better recognize who I am, or else your sister's going to be pulled over to the dark side and become a codebreaker." I'm like, "Oh, you son of a bitch." Of course, moving on past that, we're taking to a different scene with Hitomi, and he's getting ready to detonate the bombs, except for Yuki and Rohi basically appear now. So that he did not count on. So all the codebreakers are all getting closer to Hitomi now. Now we do find out Rohi and Yuki are versus Hitomi now. Yet again. It's like, well, what about Ogami? Yeah, he might be out for the count. We don't really know. But they're all saying, why did you change, Hitomi? Each one of these characters, Rohi, Yuki, as well as Ogami, they're asking, you know, well, Hitomi, why have you changed? And still no answers. But he points out, Eden is just using them. Yeah, we know that. Moving on to a different scene between Hitomi. Now we see Hitomi basically lighting up, getting ready to launch everything, and then Miss Kanda jumps in, Toki, and then Sakura. You know. Then we are taken to a different scene with Ogami, and he's back. And the power he's using is one hell of a power. And that's where the episode ends. As per final thoughts, what does Ogami have up his sleeve? He's powering up. What is his power? We don't know. Can't wait to see it though. Moving on past that, which one of these codebreakers was contacting everyone about, you know, where Hitomi's location was, as well as the bomb's GPS coordinates? We don't know. And one more final thought, the Prime Minister, what side are you really on? We don't know. Moving on to my final rating. Seriously, 4.5 out of 5. I should give this a 4 out of 5. I'm feeling generous, 4.5 out of 5, because the fights are all building up to a certain point. And, you know, we got a little more information, kind of. But again, final rating, 4.5 out of 5. But again, definitely comment down below. Let me know. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Definitely subscribe. Check me out on Twitter and follow me if you like. And again, let me know what you thought of this episode, and let me know what you think's gonna happen in the next episode coming out. But again, guys, I gotta go. I gotta hit the bricks. And before I go, I gotta say it, and I always say it. You can't stop the access, but you can watch the feed. I'll see you later, guys.